Welcome back to NTV Weekend Edition. Now, the age limit debate has sharply polarized the country and set off a cycle of violence as police tries to stop opposition-led rallies. Now, there are fears that the clampdown by police is an affront on civil liberties. And joining me this evening on Talk of the Nation is Lillian Aber, who is the National Youth Council chairperson. Lillian, a very warm welcome to NTV Weekend Edition and to Talk of the Nation.
Thank you, and good evening, viewers.
All right. Let's start with how other people are looking at this. We had the former Prime Minister Apollo Nsibambi and former Chief Justice Samuel William Wako and others, who have come out to say the debate would cause unrest in the country. What's your take?
Well, I think that the age limit discussion should really be a very sober discussion. When we are looking at the key parties involved, the opposition versus the ruling party, we need, first of all, I want to say it that we should remain as sober as we can while discussing these issues, especially the youth. Because in most cases, both the opposition and the government tend to, let the youth get involved in championing all this. And one thing that I need to really discourage is the message of hate that is moving around, portraying the country as being, in a pessimistic way, like this is the doom point, it's coming now. I think that shouldn't be the case. Uganda, as a country which is growing up, and democracy is uprising in this country today, we need to appreciate all the dynamics and also appreciate that there are challenges that come up with a country like Uganda, which is still at that state of, rising up. And the discussion of the age limit, we need to look at the both sides. There are people out there who say we support it, who are also very many in number. There are others who say we do not want it, we are not in for it. And both views must be accommodated, because that is the principle of democracy. We must respect the rule of majority. And whoever actually is trying to either blackmail or block the other from speaking, he's breaching and, is going against democracy. So, for me, I think everyone has got a right to their own opinion, to speak about the matter at hand, and it should all be respected. And
okay. Why do we have a scenario where, we don't have young Turks who are eager to front themselves and take up this leadership mantle?
Well, I wouldn't say we do not have. We do have. That is probably why the age limit should be removed. Because I think that there are very many young people out there who have the capacity to lead this country in a position of being a president. But the constitution, the current constitution, bars them from doing that. 35, 75. So that is the challenge right now. So for me, on a personal ground, I think that that could be a very important reason why it should be amended. Because we have it on, the president of France is a young man.
Yeah.
Sebastian, Austria, 31 years old. Why can't we have it in Uganda? Well, as a young person, for me, I would say yes. If I have the capacity, they should give me the ability to do that. However, this shouldn't be on the side of the young people only. We should not be discriminatory on the side of the old people. That if you are 75 and above, you shouldn't really,
Yeah.
I don't think that's the issue. I think Trump is far much older and is offering his leadership at his own. I wouldn't say he's the best leader or not, but I think we shouldn't discriminate. In the African tradition, normally when issues come in, we still call the elders to come inward and offer, their opinion. So I think Uganda, as a country, a young democratic country, we should look at having all those interests catered for.
Now, the other day we were seeing a police shooting at, protesters who are wearing their red bands. Some may argue that, police is being partisan because, again, the other day we saw, people like Tamale Mirundi who are, all over the place saying they carry hammers and carry pistols and nothing is happening to them. They're not being arrested. What's your take on this?
Well, I would still draw back this issue to the mode at which the issue of the age limit is being taken in this country. That a section takes it as a do or die. And other people think that it's for President Museveni as an individual, which I do not think so. Because tomorrow President Museveni can come and say, okay, I'm not standing anymore, I'm not contesting. So I've also seen on social media where people are running after the police officers and they want to stone them. So I think we really need to get ourselves together and be composed and think about Uganda, the future of Uganda, not individuals. It's not a Besigye versus the President Museveni's issues. This is about Uganda, which is for everybody. And the Constitution states clearly that the power belongs to the people. And this does not bar, anyway, someone who will come in and speak his own opinion. You can stand and say, I am for this because of A, B, C, D. The other one says, but the modality, you don't need to use a hammer. You do not need to throw stones at any police officer.
Earlier we had a story where the Belgian Prime Minister Hugo Verbes said that the police, they're not acting professionally because they're clamping down on people's rights.
Well, I wouldn't want to be the spokesperson of the police anyway, but I've also seen and watched in news how we, the Ugandans, behave against the police ourselves. And sometimes we instigate them to react the way they do. Because if we say that you need to ask for permission to hold a rally or a consultative meeting at this particular venue and place at this time, I think you need to go by that. So if you try to force your way through, the policemen who are working there follow the command. It's not like me and you, the army, the police, they follow the command.
But do you think this command they're supposedly following should go to the extent of the kind of force they're using when it comes to like cases of shooting people and some actually dying?
What I've actually realized is that some of the policemen are even acting to defend their lives because the people out there can easily come for it. I watched a footage where a police officer, a traffic police officer, was really taking off,
Yeah,
and I was wondering, how do we do this in this country? Who is supposed to protect who? This really leaves a very bad question. So the police should remain as neutral as much as they can, and the people should also abide by the rules. If they say do this, please, you can do it. I do not need to use all these forces and do that and fight with the police in order to bring my views out. No, I think this country is credited for freedom of expression. That one I must credit the country for.
And the finance minister, of course, the other day said that, if things go the way they are going and if this matter is not handled the way it should be handled, the economy of the country will be facing real problems.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. Because, for example, in the tourism sector, if I am a tourist and I'm seeing people running up and down tear gas, I hear news that someone has been shot dead, I wouldn't want to come to such a country. These cities or the district or that place where the kind of fights is taking place, the economic activities there cannot take place. So you are affecting directly on the revenue. Me and you know that if I consume 30 minutes of your time at NTV, you're losing money. And that one has got an economic impact on NTV and on the revenue collected by the government as well. So we really need to think, that's the area actually, that's where I come from. The message of peace, harmony, and being composed and stick to the main issue. It is okay to disagree. It's okay to say no to this, and I say no, you say yes. It's okay.
But disagreeing.
But how we do it,
yeah.
because we have young children who are going to school, you know, they're being blocked. I mean, what kind of image are you portraying to this young Ugandan? Then you start blaming the youth in future, that we jump around and we are being rowdy. I think the people who are involved in this should really, this is a time to prove the right leadership.
What do you think is the next step, and what will happen when Parliament resumes and, you know, all this is happening? Do you think we'll have a repeat of what we saw last time Parliament was in session?
You know, from my own analysis that I can really note is that the Parliament now that we have has got the majority of the NRM in the ruling party. The opposition, the number is quite few. So it's very obvious that when something is brought and it needs voting, it's going to be, you know, in favor of the ruling party, the NRM. But I think opposition should learn from there that there is need to actually mobilize on grassroots and have many people in Parliament if we are to pass a certain thing in favor of your own belief. So I think they will still do quite a similar thing of fighting, throwing chairs. Quite unfortunate anyway. I feel embarrassed about it because I could see other countries making fun out of how Ugandans are, you know. So I still expect the same thing, but I would really plead that the legislators act in a very honorable way and present issues on table and argue. Let them speak. We voted them in office to go and speak, not to go and fight, not to go and throw stones. No, we can also equally do that. For us as a National Youth Council, we are actually planning to hold a consultative meeting and have a stand on the issue of the youth, the age limit as a National Youth Council. But we could also choose to go and fight. We are 75% of the population. So we want to see some kind of quality intellectual debate.
And finally, as we wind up, as the National Youth Council chairperson, what is your message to the youth?
My message to the youth is that we should desist from any form of violence. We shouldn't think that the issue of the age limit is a do or die. No. There's a section of the young people who do not support. There's a section of the young people who do support. It's about harmonization. We are going to have this issue tabled in Parliament. So make your communication clear through your legislator. But as a council, we're going to have a consultative meeting of the young people and also present their issues. So we do not want the young people to think, I personally do not want to see the young people on the forefront exchanging blows, throwing stones, because you will lose your life. And if you are not alive tomorrow, it is your family that will be directly touched. And you'll also be costing this country. The future of this country is not the way I think some people portray, that is so in a pessimistic way that we are in a very sorrowful state. When you travel out of the country and look at some countries, you really think that Uganda is a list somewhere. So let's learn to appreciate who we are and where we are going, but not forgetting where we came from. So the young people should be pioneers at this very moment where we are really needed to, you know, make a statement. We should be there because it will cost us in a nearby future. I wouldn't want to be blocked from contesting for presidency. I mean, why not? You know, yeah. So the future is bright. Many
thanks, Lillian. Of course, this is a topic we'll continue, you know, deliberating on. And as you said, people can disagree, but they can disagree in an orderly manner. No one has to lose their life just because of such an issue. If you're just joining us, I have been speaking to Lillian Aber, who is the National Youth Chairperson. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, Weekend Sport is next.